This conference will now be recorded.
Welcome back to our added tips sessions for our DuctQuote training videos. And what we're going to talk about now has to do with putting a connection on a model. And as mentioned in previous sessions, we have equipment and we have models. And the difference was simply that models are just that. They're non-functioning models for representing equipment. Now we've only gotten the 3D model and we haven't received all the data needed to create the functionality for a piece of equipment. In other words, we cannot add connections, etc., to a model. But we do have a workaround, and that's what we're going to look at now. We can use this workaround to get it to appear that we have connections with the model, and we're going to take a look at how to go about this. We're going to be using a specifically sized machine, or in this case, an ILD or inline device. And we're going to make it appear that we are putting a connection on there. So the first thing that we will do is we will put in a model. And we're going to need a collector here. So I'll just roll down here. We'll grab one of those. And we will place this into our layout. Now, again, we're in edit mode. So if I select that, you'll see that I have nowhere to add a connection. We can move it around and we can, use it to move things here and there, but we can't really get it to connect. So what we're going to do is I'm going to place this fairly near where we're going to want it, and it looks like I've gotten it pretty close right now. And we are going to put a connection right there. So we're going to slide this out of the way for a moment. What we have to do is we have to create a specifically sized ILD. So we'll ask for a piece of equipment. We'll use a generic inline device because this is going to be an inlet. Click OK. And I'll just drop that right here. Now, if you want to match color, now would be a good time to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and make this kind of a dull yellow, like so, somewhere in there. Okay, maybe a little bit more yellow to it. And then we're going to start playing with the size. Now, we want it because it's going to actually be laying flat on top of that model. I don't want it to be very tall, so we're only going to make it 2 inches tall. And we're going to make it about 30 inches square. And there we have what we need. Now, because we're going to place it on top, we need to change its mounting from standing, where it would seek the floor, to hanging. We need it to stay where we put it. All right. So now we're just going to raise this up and we'll get it about the right height, a little bit high, and that'll be great. So now I'm just going to add the connection to this ILD that I've created. Now, the connection has to match what we're going to connect it to. So this is coming in at an 11-inch piece of duct. So that's what we're going to create, is a round 11-inch connection. We come over, we add connection. It will be an inlet, it will be round, and we're not going to put any kind of adapter on it. And we'll make it 11 inches. I'm just going to put it right near the middle. So now we have our connection on our machine. or rather on our ILD. And I'm going to take that plate and I'm going to move it all the way over here, and I'm going to let it connect to my duct. And there we have the connection. So now what we will do is we will move this model over to place it over the appropriate spot. Okay, that's not perfect, but you can align it up a little bit more if you need to. But now, as you can see, it looks like we have a connection on a model. And really, it's as simple as that. And if we needed it on the front, we would have made this stand up and we would have applied it there. But the principle remains the same. All right, that's how we kind of work around getting that done. Now, the one thing to be careful of, as you saw, if I move the model, it and the ILD in this case are separate objects. So if we're going to move them, to be sure we move them together, I would use my selection box to make sure that I am selecting both of those. And I would see two X's. Also be aware, if I select using the quick menu, flipping that around doesn't work. Okay? So just be aware, the quick menu flip will not work to move things together like that. You would have to manually move them about. All right, well, look forward to talking to you again soon.